Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12.
News at 12.
In the local scene, global health partners are working with the provincial government of Albay to strengthen human papillomavirus or HPV vaccination and improve childhood immunization coverage. The University of the Philippines, Manila and the Murdoch Children's Research Institute partnered with the Albay Provincial Health Office through the National Immunization Program to conduct a pilot project in selected local government units. The initiative explores the use of social listening strategies to better understand public concerns and improve school-based and mass immunization programs. Researchers aim to identify barriers that prevent families from getting vaccinated and develop more responsive communication and program strategies. The delegation conducted interviews and monitoring visits with the Provincial Health Office technical staff, including National Immunization Program Coordinator Mark Gumba. The team also visited the rural health units of Ginobatan and Pulangi to review current immunization practices and assess operational challenges. The visiting group was led by Jessica Kaufman of the Murdoch Children's Research Institute, along with representatives from the University of the Philippines, Manila. Health officials said the collaboration highlights a shared commitment to strengthening HPV vaccination and protecting communities from vaccine-preventable diseases. In other story, the Albay Veterinary Office has intensified its rabies education campaign across the province, focusing on raising awareness among the youth. The initiative aims to teach young Albayanos the importance of responsible pet ownership and the life-saving value of timely vaccination for dogs and cats. Under the theme Rabies-Free na Pusa't Aso, Kaligtasan ng Pamilyang Pilipino, the campaign shifts from simple vaccination drives to a broader education-focused approach. Dr. Manny G. Victorino of the Animal Health and Regulatory Division said the younger generation plays a key role in spreading knowledge about rabies prevention in their communities. The campaign also comes as rabies remains a continuing public health concern in the Bicol region. As part of the initiative, the Veterinary Office recently held a rabies awareness forum for youth leaders to strengthen community participation in prevention efforts. Participants were also oriented on Republic Act 9482 or the Anti-Rabies Act of 2007, which promotes responsible pet ownership and proper responsible to animal bites. Officials said empowering young leaders with accurate information can help families and communities adopt safer and more responsible animal practices. In other news, the Albay Provincial Planning and Development Office has launched a basic graphic design training for youth in partnership with Children International Bicol Incorporated to boost digital and creative skills. More than 45 youth beneficiaries will take part in the training organized into 3 batches to allow focused and interactive sessions. The first batch was held on March 5 to 6, with the second and third batches are scheduled for March 12, 13, 19, and 20. Participants are learning essential design principles including color theory, typography, and layout, while mastering core features of Canva for digital content creation. The program aims to equip youth with practical skills to produce logos, social media posts, and posters, while strengthening the ongoing partnership between PPDO and CIBI to expand learning opportunities. In the national scene, Senators Panfilo Lacson and Win Gatchalian warned that gasoline stations and oil firms must be held accountable if they raise fuel prices ahead of schedule adjustments, calling the practice profiteering. Gatchalian said some retailers increased prices shortly after global oil costs rose, even though their existing fuel stocks were bought at lower prices and should still be sold at reasonable rates. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. earlier said the Philippines has an oil supply that could last about 50 to 60 days nationwide. Lacson added that raising prices early may violate downstream oil industry deregulation act of 1998 and the Consumer Act of the Philippines, and urged the public to report suspected violations to the Philippine National Police and local government units. The expected fuel price hikes come as tensions rise in the Middle East after the United States and Israel launched attacks on Iran earlier this month, raising concerns about oil supply in the region that includes key routes such as the Strait of Hormuz. In other story, national security officials in the Philippines said the recent arrest of Filipinos allegedly involved in spying for China highlights the need to strengthen systems that prevent espionage and exposes security gaps that must be addressed. During a news forum, retired Rear Admiral Romel Jude Ong said financial problems were among the factors that made the suspects vulnerable, noting that many government workers receive relatively low salaries. Ong explained that recruiters often study potential targets first, looking at their weaknesses, especially those who have access to sensitive information but feel underpaid. Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, said the money given for shared information can reach 6 digits, with additional payments sometimes offered for each piece of intelligence provided. In other news, the Department of Education DepEd held the first Unified Science High School Admissions Test, USHOT, on Saturday across science high schools in Metro Manila as part of its plan to standardize admission exams for incoming grade 7 students. Education Assistant Secretary Joyce Andaya said the test was introduced to create a single and fair admission system for students who want to enroll in science high school. The initiative was approved by Education Secretary Sani Angara after recommendations from the Second Congressional Commission on Education, EDCOM-2, which also encouraged the gradual shift to computer-based testing. Unlike previous admission processes that use different exams and standards in its school, the USHOT uses a computer-based test that measures students' science skills, math reasoning, reading comprehension, critical thinking, and abstract reasoning. DepEd said 8,831 students took the exam in 18 science high schools in Metro Manila, but only 3,195 will be admitted, with results expected in 2 weeks, and students scoring 75% or higher automatically qualifying for interviews. And in the news outside the country, an explosion struck the consular entrance of the United States Embassy in Oslo at about 1 a.m. Sunday, according to police, causing minor damage but no injuries. Oslo Police District said officers responded after receiving several reports of a blast and confirmed that an explosion had occurred at the embassy while the cause remained under investigation. Police Incident Commander Michael Delamere said investigators believe the incident was likely carried out by a person, but authorities declined to provide further details while the investigation is still in its early stages. Residents nearby reported hearing a loud explosion as police, bomb squad units, dogs and drones, and helicopters secured the area, while officials said there is currently no indication the incident is linked to tensions involving Iran. In other story, Sri Lanka said it will handle Iranian sailors rescued from the torpedoed frigate Iris Dina, according to international law, as questions grow over reports that the United States is urging Sri Lanka not to send them home. Foreign Minister Vijita Hirath said Sri Lanka rescued 32 sailors and recovered 84 bodies after a U.S. submarine sank the Iranian warship off the country's southern coast. Sri Lanka also sheltered another Iranian Navy ship, Iris Bashir, and evacuated its 219 crew members before taking the vessel to Trincomalee after it reported engine trouble. Reports said Washington asked Sri Lanka not to repatriate the Iranian sailors, but a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department said the decision ultimately belongs to Colombo. India allowed a third Iranian warship, Iris 11, to dock at the port of Kochi Port on humanitarian grounds, while officials worked with the International Committee of the Red Cross on how to handle the rescued sailors. And finally, in the news outside the country with reference to the Philippines, Filipino seafarers can now refuse deployment to ships sailing through the Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, and the Strait of Hormuz, the Department of Migrant Workers, DMW, said. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kokdak signed Advisory Number 11 Series of 2026, labeling these waters as warlike operations areas after the International Bargaining Forum called them war risk zones. The advisory aims to keep Filipino crew members safe amid rising tensions in the Middle East and urges ship owners to avoid sending crews to these dangerous areas. The move comes after recent attacks involving the United States, Israel, and Iran, with the Persian Gulf region serving as a key route for global oil shipments. That's in the news at 12, March 9, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer, LJ Lorejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Office OIC, Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rizal. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.